Hi, everyone. Bill Rentschler in the 1011 Now streaming studio. Another edition of Consumer Safety Spotlight. Happy Monday. Again, hanging out with the Better Business Bureau. And again, I have Jessie Schmidt joining us from the Better Business Bureau today. I have a couple different things, Jessie, that we want to talk about. A couple of big things happening for us here. One just a week away, and the next one happening over the next several weeks. And they're kind of big things that, people don't necessarily like to spend a lot of time on because they can be difficult and all the rest of it. We're talking the election next Tuesday, and we're talking open enrollment, which, again, very important for a lot of people in making sure all your benefits, are what they're supposed to be. And so naturally with those two big things, we have some scams and different things that pop up around those. And we also have some tips and best practices that we kind of want to go through regarding both of those things. But Jessie, first, it's been a few weeks since we've talked to you. How have you been?
I've been good. Thanks so much. I'm glad to be back with you, Bill.
Awesome. Well, we're glad to have you. What did you want to start with first? Do we want to go elections or do we want to go open enrollment?
Well, let's start elections because that is quickly on the horizon, right? We have a
Mm-hmm.
week till the election, and we have local, state, and federal races. And so we can be bombarded with emails, phone call, robocalls, text messages, all of the things. And we're just going to tell you, once it seems like a candidate gets your information, or a party gets your information, or an issue gets your information, every time you turn around, something is popping up in your inbox, or you're getting a phone call or a text message about that. We're going to tell you that just be very, very cautious about all of those things. If you want to make a donation, that's fine. Go search that information out independently. Um, email, campaign email is one of the best ways to communicate with constituents. But again, scammers know that as well. So they can very quickly pretend to be from the candidate or party of your choice. So just be very, very cautious. And, we always call those phishing emails. Well, if you get that same sort of thing via text message, we call that smishing, SMS messaging. And you get those via text, and it's really difficult to distinguish between a legitimate outreach attempt and fraud. And so, just like phishing scams, we always caution you about clicking on any links in there, or participating in anything. So, we would suggest you don't make a campaign contribution through a text message. Uh, Go search that out independently. Uh, and if they want you to participate in a survey and they want a little more information, like your date of birth, information like that. They don't need that. They don't need your social security information. Actually, frankly, they don't even need to know much about you, perhaps other than your sex and your age, and
Mm-hmm.
then ask you to participate in that. So, we're going to tell you we've got a few helpful cybersecurity tips. See a prize as a red flag. If you are offered a prize for participating in a poll or something like that, that should be a big red flag. As we said, know what they don't need. They might ask demographic information or your party affiliation, um, but don't fall into anything beyond that. You can't register or vote via phone, text message, email, anything like that. You can, of course, absentee vote, but that may already be done where you're at. So again, just be very, very cautious. Don't answer calls from unknown name and numbers. They can't trick you if they can't not get in touch with you. So again, please report any suspicious activity along these lines to BBB Scam Tracker, because it helps us bring all of that most current information to you.
Yeah, and there's so much money, involved in the election, and whether it's just by a specific candidate, the party itself, and so it's an opportunity ripe for bad actors to try and infiltrate. So again, it's your money, and again, if you want to support a candidate, want to support a party, you just got to be extra careful to make sure that money is going where you think it is going.
That's absolutely true. And yeah, let's move on to, healthcare cons during open enrollment.
Yeah.
So If you're changing your Medicare or healthcare.gov coverage during open enrollment, uh, just be very, very cautious. And that is so for Medicare, that's October 15th through December 7th. And so, or if you have a Medicare Advantage plan, all of those things. So, and oftentimes for businesses, this is your open enrollment time too, an opportunity to change your coverage, kick some kids off your plan, add some kids onto your plan, all of those things. So, um, our scam tracker often reports scam calls and text messages pretending to be from Medicare. In one instance, the caller pretended to be an agent asking if you got your new Medicare card in the mail. And then they wanted to verify with you what that Medicare information meant. And they may even have, for instance, the last four digits of your social, because for a lot of us, our information is floating around out there on the dark web. And so you think, oh, this could be legitimate. But we're going to tell you not the case.
Mm-hmm.
And here's a handful of tips. So if anybody contacts you out of the blue, now healthcare.gov and Medicare provide legitimate help for determining that plan. Typically, they are not going to reach out to you first. Sometimes there are navigators or assisters, but they cannot charge you for your support. So if anybody asks for payment on that, that's a big red flag right there. And be wary of free gifts and health screenings. You should always have a healthy level of skepticism anytime a broker offers you free gifts or other special deals. Um, just just know that there's ways of which they cherry pick you, and that is all against Medicare rules. And then again, guard your government issued numbers, social security number, of course, your Medicare ID number, your health plan information, of course, your banking information. Phony health insurance fraud is a growing fraud. People steal people's insurance information because they perhaps don't have insurance of their own. They go seek help from a specialty provider, and they use your information to do that. So be very, very cautious and go directly to these official sites, Medicare.gov, healthcare.gov. Reach out to your HR department. Uh, so you really are dealing with the professionals and not just somebody that you think has all the answers.
Yeah, it can be such a very complicated process, especially if maybe you're signing up for Medicare or Medicaid for the first time. A lot of states offer classes on how to make sure that you're getting signed up for this stuff correctly. So again, if it is your first time, probably a good idea to search out some of those classes and some of those places that you can get some of the information on how exactly this process works, because it can be anything like this, signing up for health insurance, it can be really difficult and really complicated, and it can be overwhelming.
Oh, absolutely. We are not the experts in any of this. So there's so many questions and uncertainty. And as we've talked about, and I'm sure you've talked about with Josh, that's where scammers love it. They love that messy middle. So just stay out of that fray. Deal with people that have all the answers and not those that just pretend to.
Yeah, 100%. Because again, two really important things, whether again it's the election or again your health benefits and your insurance and stuff like that. And so two things you don't want to take a chance on. Like you said, if someone's just reaching out of the blue, that in and of itself should just already be a really big red flag. So you just got to be extra careful.
You do. And if you have any questions, go to bbb.org.
100%. And again, like you also mentioned, but if you do see something, if something does happen to you, just knowing is half the battle. And so if you can report what you've seen and your experience to the BBB, you guys can then make sure that information and those red flags can get passed on to other people and other consumers.
Absolutely. Scam trackers should be something that's in everybody's back pocket.
100%. And again, I will also mention the link to the new new-ish now, BBB monthly newsletter, again, is in the YouTube description of this video. I also have links to some information regarding, again, the election, scams, tips, best practices, stuff like that, and open enrollment stuff in the YouTube description of this video as well. So, again, plenty of ways to get the information.
Yes, thanks so much for letting me share it, Bill.
Absolutely. Jessie, was there anything else you want to make sure that you mentioned today before we let you go?
Well, I would just encourage all of your listeners to get educated. Lots of important things happening over the next few days. Be an educated voter. Go print out a sample ballot and then go vote.
All right. Awesome. Well, Jessie, thank you so much for your time today. We really do appreciate it. We always love hanging out with you.
Thank you. It's always a pleasure to see you too, Bill.
All right. Again, that was Jessie Schmidt with the Better Business Bureau. Appreciate her time today. I appreciate everyone for tuning in and watching again today, as always. So, again, keep tuned to 1011, both on air and online, for all of your latest news, weather, and sports. And until next time, hope everyone has a nice Monday.